It all began in 2016, in the bustling streets of Havana, Cuba. American and Canadian diplomats stationed in this historic city started reporting something unusual. At first, it seemed harmless, a strange, high-pitched sound, almost like crickets chirping or metal scraping. But then came the dizziness and headaches and an eerie sense that something was terribly wrong. Imagine being in your own home or office and suddenly hearing an unexplainable noise that leaves you feeling disoriented and sick. That's exactly what happened to these diplomats. The symptoms didn't stop at headaches and nausea. Some victims reported memory loss, difficulty concentrating, and even changes in their cognitive abilities. These weren't just minor inconveniences. They were life-altering effects that forced several individuals to leave their posts. As word spread about these mysterious ailments, the term Havana Syndrome was born. It wasn't long before the world's media descended on Havana, and the question on everyone's mind was, what was causing this? Was it an attack, a new kind of weapon, or something even stranger? Despite years of investigations by governments and scientists, the incident's true cause remains shrouded in mystery. And as the years passed, the enigma only deepened. Now, let's dive into the theories. When something as bizarre as the Havana Syndrome occurs, you can bet the explanations will range from the scientific to the downright fantastical. Here are the most talked about possibilities. Sonic attacks. One of the earliest theories suggested that these symptoms were caused by a sonic weapon, a device that emits high-frequency sound waves capable of causing disorientation and other physical effects. But here's the kicker. Sound waves strong enough to cause these symptoms would also damage the eardrum, and no such physical evidence was found in most victims. Microwave radiation. Another theory pointed to directed microwave radiation. This idea gained traction when scientists linked the symptoms to the Frey effect, where microwave frequencies can create auditory sensations in the brain. If true, this could mean we're dealing with a highly sophisticated weapon, possibly wielded by a foreign power. But again, concrete proof remains elusive. Mass psychogenic illness. The skeptics have their own take. They argue that Havana Syndrome could be a case of mass hysteria, where psychological stress manifests as physical symptoms. After all, the diplomatic community in Cuba was under significant strain due to political tensions. But can stress alone explain brain damage seen in some cases? Each theory seems plausible at first glance, yet none fully explain the phenomenon. And that's what makes the Havana Syndrome so maddeningly mysterious. It's like a puzzle, where no piece fits perfectly. The Havana Syndrome wasn't just a medical mystery. It became a diplomatic nightmare. Relations between the United States and Cuba were already strained, and this incident only added fuel to the fire. American officials accused Cuba of either perpetrating the attacks or failing to prevent them, while Cuban authorities vehemently denied any involvement. The US government responded by pulling diplomats out of Havana and issuing travel warnings. This wasn't just a setback for US-Cuba relations, but also a chilling reminder of how vulnerable diplomats can be, even in supposedly safe environments. And it didn't stop with Cuba. Over the years, similar cases have been reported in China, Germany, and even Washington, D.C. What started as a localized issue in Havana has now turned into a global phenomenon, raising even more questions. Are we dealing with a coordinated attack spanning multiple countries? Or is this something far more complex and unpredictable? Here we are, years later, still grappling with the same questions. Who is behind the Havana Syndrome? How is it happening? And perhaps most importantly, why? What makes this mystery so compelling is the lack of concrete answers. In a world where science and technology have solved so many riddles, Havana Syndrome remains a stubborn enigma. Is it a new form of espionage weaponry, an elaborate psychological phenomenon? Or could it be something entirely outside our current understanding? The victims of Havana Syndrome continue to seek answers, and the investigations are far from over. But for now, the Havana Syndrome serves as a chilling reminder that even in our modern age, some mysteries refuse to be solved. And maybe, just maybe, that's what makes them so fascinating. The truth is, we may never know. But one thing is certain: Havana Syndrome is a mystery that demands answers. As always, if you've enjoyed this deep dive into one of the most bizarre and unsettling mysteries of our time, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Stay curious, stay cautious, and remember, sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction.